Hi, I'm Gary Korb from cigaradvisor.com, and today we're going to learn how to set up and season a brand new humidor. What we have here is a nice cherry finished matte humidor. It holds about 175 cigars. What's nice about it is it has brass accents, and that always looks nice. And another nice feature about this box is it has brass quadrant hinges. And this gives the lid much more stability because you're going to be opening and closing it a lot. So the other thing it comes with is a crystal humidifier, this particular model that is. And you want a crystal humidifier because it's state of the art. They hold 400 times, that is, more water than your typical green foam Oasis. And we have an analog hygrometer. We have some dividers for the top and bottom. And we have a top tray for your cigars that you want to put on top, maybe the ones you smoke every day. All right, first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the humidifier and we're going to wet it. It has to be completely saturated. But before we even do that, we have to mount it in place. And this is using a magnet. So it has a piece of metal with sticky on the back. And what I like to do is basically just keep it together and try to place it as much in the center as possible. That looks about right. And I'm going to put my hand on the back here and I'm going to press, and then that's going to keep that metal in place. And next time you want to put the humidifier back, there it is. Okay? So first thing we have to do is fill the humidifier with water. And you should always use distilled water. So what I have here is a pan. And of course you always need paper towels. Paper towels are good to have around when you're doing this kind of thing. So I'm going to take this humidifier and I'm going to take distilled water, and always use distilled water, because if you use tap water or spring water, believe me, you're going to get mold, you're going to have problems. So I'm going to pour this right into this thing, and I want it to absorb all that water. And what I'll do is I'll turn it upside down so that it really gets in there good. This should take about 20 minutes or so to give the crystals time to expand. So what I want to do is I'm going to just put in a little bit more water because I really want it in there. Right? It's just filled to the top of the inside. And I'm just going to leave that there for about 5 minutes or so. And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it on one of these towels, a couple of towels actually. And we're going to let those crystals absorb water. So I'll put that right here. And with the green foam humidifier, you have to leave it in here until all of the foam absorbs the water, and that takes a long time. But these crystals, once they get wet, they'll begin to expand. And in about 15-20 minutes, they will be ready to place back in the humidor. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to mount the hygrometer. And this hygrometer also has a magnet on the back of it. It is an analog hygrometer. And what we want to do is you want to keep the hygrometer away from the humidifier. So the best place to put it is usually in the corner somewhere. And right about there would be a good spot. So I'm going to press real hard. Make sure that glue adheres. And I might just let that sit for a while. But what's going to happen is, see where the humidifier is? Hygrometer, rather. So when you close it, it's not too close to the corners. It won't interfere with the cigars. Okay, so we let this sit for a while. The crystals have expanded. And what you want to make sure is you don't have any water dripping out of it. And that way you know that they've absorbed all of the water. And this is going to last a while. This is made for about 100, 150 cigars, this humidifier. So basically, we just put it in place. And there you have it. Okay? But now we have to season it. This is the main thing. And the way we do that is we need a clean kitchen sponge, new one, don't use an old one, and we're going to put that in our tub of distilled water. Notice I'm using distilled water again, even for the sponge. All right, I'm going to let that soak up. And what we want to do is place just a sandwich bag in the bottom of the humidor. Now the reason we're doing that is because the sponge is going to be wet. We don't want it to soak into the base of the humidor. So we want to squeeze just enough water out of here so that it's still, really damp. Notice the sponge is wet but not soaked, so it's dripping. We don't want it dripping. And because it is still wet, we're going to keep it on the baggie. And between the sponge, which is like our super humidifier rather, and our regular humidifier, when we close this, it's going to start to evaporate and the cedar walls will begin to absorb all that moisture. It's going to take about 3 to 5 days. And what we're going to do is just simply close it up and let it sit. Now, the other thing you can do is, if you want to humidify everything, you put your top tray in, and you can let it go like that. And you just let it sit. In about 3 days, you'll open this up, and the hygrometer should read like about 85%. It'll be high. You want it ideally about 70, 67% average. And what I like to do is I like to keep the sponge in there as long as possible. So maybe a week at the most, if you're patient enough, and you'll see it's really going to absorb all the water. Anyone that's told you to wet down the walls, that kind of thing, it's really not a good idea, because you don't want to get any water into the corners or where the joints are, because the wood's going to expand. It's going to expand naturally, and you don't want anything that's going to make it expand more than it has to. So it's really very simple. Just leave that in there, come back, and you'll take the sponge out. And when you take the sponge out, of course, the humidity is going to be pretty high, but when you put your cigars in, eventually it'll just settle down. And you would ideally want it to settle down somewhere around 70, 67, 68. That's where I like it. And we have a divider that goes in the middle. Some people like to use it. You can put it in the middle, or you can put it on the side. Maybe you just want certain cigars in this section. That's really up to you. Just make sure that it's in good and it's even. And your tray, you fill up your bottom, fill up your top, and that's it. It's that simple.
If you liked this tip, there's plenty more where that came from. Go to cigaradvisor.com and click or tap on the Articles tab at the bottom of the page. Expand the Show Topics sidebar. Then click or tap Cigars 101 to read tips, tricks, and advice from all the contributors to Cigar Advisor magazine.